Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and realizing you have already wasted 10 years doing the same things over and over, hoping for a different result. Imagine sitting in traffic on your way to a job you hate and thinking, what if just 30 days could change everything? That is the hook Robert Kiyosaki used to wake people up. And that is exactly what I want to talk about today. Because the truth is, you do not need decades to start building wealth. You need one decision and 30 focused days of action. That is it. I know that sounds crazy. When I first heard someone say 30 days is enough to become rich, I rolled my eyes. But then I remembered the times in my life when a single month of consistency changed everything. Think about when you started your first job. In the first 30 days, you learned the systems, the culture, and the expectations. After 30 days, you already felt different. Think about relationships. In 30 days of giving your attention to someone, you can turn a stranger into a best friend or a partner. So why do we think money is any different? Robert Kiyosaki says wealth is not about how much you earn in a paycheck, but about how you think and act every single day. 30 days is enough to rewire your financial thinking, build habits, and start creating assets instead of liabilities. I want to show you how by sharing real stories and principles that actually work. When I was in university, there was a friend of mine named Daniel. He was always broke. We would go out and he would say, "I'm saving." But he was not investing or learning. He was just surviving. Then one day he read a book and decided to change. For 30 days, he woke up 1 hour earlier to read about investing, watched videos on how to manage money, and started a tiny online business selling used electronics. At the end of that month, he had made the equivalent of $150 profit. Not a fortune, but more than he had saved in the last 6 months combined. More importantly, he had built the habit of creating income instead of waiting for a paycheck. Fast forward 1 year later, Daniel had built that small business into a steady side income covering his rent. That all started with 30 days. This is what Robert Kiyosaki means. Wealth begins with a shift from employee thinking to investor thinking. That shift can happen in 30 days if you commit. Most people waste years because they think they need to wait until the perfect time. Wait until they have more money. Wait until they finish school. Wait until they get promoted. That waiting becomes decades. So here is the first big point. 30 days is not about getting rich overnight. It is about changing your mindset and your daily actions so you actually become the kind of person who creates wealth. If you commit to 1 month of financial education and small action steps, you will be shocked at the momentum you create. Think of it like this. If you go to the gym once, nothing happens. But if you go consistently for 30 days, your body and your energy start to change. Money works the same way. You do not become wealthy by a single act. You become wealthy by repeated small steps done consistently. Let me tell you another story. My aunt had a regular 9-to-5 job for over 15 years. She always complained about not having enough. One day she decided to learn about real estate. For 30 days, she listened to podcasts and attended free workshops after work. She learned about how to buy small plots of land and resell them. After those 30 days, she found one deal she could afford. She borrowed from a family member and bought it. 2 months later, she sold it and made the equivalent of $1,000 profit. That was more than her monthly salary. It was not magic. It was 30 days of focused learning and then action. Robert Kiyosaki often says, "Don't work for money, make money work for you." But you cannot make money work for you if you do not know how money works. The good news is you can learn the basics in 30 days. You do not need a degree in finance. Spend 30 days learning about assets versus liabilities, cash flow, and how to invest in small ways. Start with a book, a course, or free online videos, but you must commit to daily learning and action for 30 days. Another important point, wealth is a team sport. In those 30 days, do not isolate yourself. Find one person with similar goals. Accountability accelerates success. When I started my own side hustle, I had a friend who was also trying to start one. We would call each other every night to share what we learned and what we did that day. In 30 days, we were both making small but real money. Without that accountability, I would have quit by week 2. I know some of you are thinking, but I do not have extra money to invest. That is okay. The first 30 days is not about investing money. It is about investing time and attention. You can start by selling unused items in your home, offering a service online, or learning a skill that people pay for. In 30 days, you can build the habit of creating value and receiving money for it. Look at young people today who learn a digital skill like video editing or graphic design. In 30 days of daily practice, they can become good enough to get their first client. That first client might pay only $50, but it breaks the mental barrier. You stop thinking, "I cannot," and start thinking, "I can." That is priceless. This is also about changing your environment. If you spend 30 days reading social media gossip, you will get nothing. If you spend 30 days surrounding yourself with people and content about wealth building, you will start to think differently. Kiyosaki calls this financial literacy. Another real-life example, a man I met at a seminar shared how he was living paycheck to paycheck, earning about $500 per month. He decided to spend 30 days after work learning about digital marketing. By the end of the month, he started offering small services to local businesses for $20 each. In his first month, he made $60 extra. That was small, but it gave him belief. Within a year, he was earning more from his side business than from his job. That all began with 30 days of learning. Here is what I recommend if you truly want to apply Robert Kiyosaki's lesson. On day 1, write down exactly where you are financially: income, expenses, debts, and any assets. Awareness is the first step. Then commit to learning 30 minutes each day about money. It could be a book, a podcast, or a course. Third, take one small action daily. It could be selling an old item, creating a budget, offering a skill online, or opening an investment account with a tiny amount. Fourth, track your progress and write down wins. Even if you earn only $5 in profit, celebrate it. You are building a new identity. Finally, after 30 days, review your progress and set a bigger goal for the next 30 days. The power of 30 days is that it is short enough to feel possible, but long enough to build a habit. Think of habits you already have. You did not get them overnight. You built them day by day. Wealth-building habits are the same. Also, remember to focus on assets, not liabilities. Kiyosaki explains that most people buy things that take money out of their pocket. Rich people buy things that put money into their pocket. In 30 days, you can start identifying which is which in your own life. For example, your car is often a liability because it costs you fuel, insurance, and maintenance. But a small digital product or rental property can be an asset because it brings money in. I want to leave you with one more story. A young woman named Blessing used to work as a cashier. She earned just enough to get by. She stumbled on a video about investing in low-cost index funds. For 30 days, she studied everything she could. She opened a small account with as little as $10. Each week, she added a small amount. Over time, the account grew, but more importantly, her mindset changed. She no longer saw herself as someone who only spends. She became someone who invests. That shift began in 30 days. So when you hear 30 days is all it takes to become rich, do not think about winning the lottery. Think about changing your daily actions, your environment, your education, and your habits for 30 days. Those small, consistent steps will compound into wealth over time. Robert Kiyosaki's own journey reflects this. He was once broke living in a car, but he started learning, taking action, building businesses, and investing. Within a few years, he became financially free, but the seeds were planted in those first days and weeks of intense focus. The truth is, you do not have to waste 10 or 20 years to change your financial life. You can start today with 30 days of focused effort. In 30 days, you can learn more about money than you learned in the last decade. In 30 days, you can make your first extra income. In 30 days, you can build a habit that will make you rich in the long term. We live in a world where people binge-watch shows for 30 days straight. Imagine if you used that same time to binge learn about money and take action. Imagine what your life would look like next year if you started today. Here is your challenge. Starting tomorrow, commit to 30 days of financial transformation. Wake up 1 hour earlier. Learn, act, track, and repeat. Surround yourself with people who are doing the same. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the perfect time. Do not wait for more money. Start where you are with what you have. Because wealth is not built in decades, it is built in decisions, and you can make that decision today. If you follow this for 30 days, you will not only see changes in your bank account, but in your confidence, your opportunities, and your freedom. Stop wasting years. 30 days is all it takes to become rich, not rich just in money, but rich in options, rich in knowledge, and rich in freedom. And that is the message Robert Kiyosaki has been trying to teach for decades. So the question is not can I, the question is will I? Will you commit 30 days to changing your life, or will you waste another year waiting? The choice is yours.